Yeah. So if you check in the service now, anything will be executed in the two levels. The first one is the client level. Client level is nothing but which will be executed in the client level. Client level is nothing but which will execute browser level. And next one is the server level. Server level is nothing but server level. So server level is nothing but which will be executed in the database level. So if you check these two, if you check in the client level, so what are the in this thing one? The first one is the client scripts. So forget about server level. We can discuss about the server level later. First one is the client scripts. Second one is the uh, UI policies. So we have already seen UI policies and how it will execute. That's no issues. Today we will discuss about how we can check the what is client script, how these client scripts will execute. So if you see this one, if you check the client scripts, which will the scripts which will execute in the browser level, that we will call as a client script, which will execute in the client level. That means which is browser level. Browser level. So in this one, the client script, we see the client script. There are in these also there are different types was there. So in this one, there are two types. The first one is a form level. Second one is list level. Form level is nothing but whenever if I open any form, so let me reload it. Form level, list level. Just wait, it's loading. It's okay. If you see it on form level, so what are the scripts will execute form level? In that, first one is the onload. Second one is the onsubmit. Third one is on change. And next one, if you go to the list level, what will execute? On cell edit. So these three are the form level and list level. So there are two types of client scripts. There are which is executed in the form level and second one is the list level. So if you come to the form level, there is onload, on submit, and on change and on select will do. So for example, if I open this one, so for example, if I open this work order, So this is our table. So what are the scripts here? This is a list level. Here execute that will call the list level. Or if you open here, in the sense, if you open this one, this is a form level. Here, what are the scripts is executed that we will call it as a form level scripts. This is the basic thing how we can execute it. Now, see, this is this turn. Now, what is onload script? The script which will executes when the form loaded. Form loaded is nothing but, for example, whenever if you open a record here like this one, for example, if I open record, if I go to the list, what happened? Basically, we will open the record here. So if I open this record, a form will be loaded. If I open this one, this will be automatically form loaded, and at this time the script will execute it. That script will called as onload client script. And next one, on submit, or else the script also will execute whenever if you click on reload the page, then the script will execute automatically. Just wait, it's loading. So this one, like this, if you form load also, this will be executed automatically. Now on submit, then the script which will executes when the form submitted. When the form submit or saved it. So which means here, whenever if you click on save, it will be form submitted. Or whenever if you click on what we can say, if you click on new record, the submit, then that is also the form submit. That's the one. And next one, on change, the script will execute script which will execute when the particular field value changes. That means whenever, for example, if you see, if I open this one, depending upon the state value, so we have to change the different values. For example, if the state is in progress, something. If you go to the state development, this development is visible and mandatory. Or if state is ready for testing, this should be something. Some fields will be mandatory. That means depending upon this state field value, that means some other fields value has to affect it. At the time we will write a on change client script for the same thing here. Next one, list level on change and list level on change and on cell edit, both are same. The only the difference between On change will execute in the form level, and on cell edit will execute in the list level. That is the only one difference, and remaining everything is same for the same. This is the what is how we can discuss about the form level and list level for the same thing here. So this is the basic scenario how we can execute the form level and sorry how what is the client script and different types of till now any questions about the client scripts, what is client script and what we will execute. So now we will discuss about how we can write a client script and how we can check the scenarios. Now if I open, so if you want to write a client script, just click on right click and go to the configure and go to the client script, you can open it. So as we discussed in the everything in the service now, everything will be stored in the tables structure. If you go to the, if you write any client script, that will be stored in the sys underscore script underscore client. That will be the same thing here. Now if I want to write a client script, I'm just writing. So here the concept is here whenever the form is loaded here you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disabling those all the whatever written scripts. So we'll have a different scenarios we can do it. So here what I'm writing here. So what are this for this company? I'm just making. Okay, that's okay. So here what happened? So here we are doing some validation. Here we can write what is the client script for it. Onload validation. So we can write it. And next one, whenever in the service now, as we discussed, everything will be stored in the table format. Now here, if you are writing a client script on the table, which table we need to execute. So if I open this one, the table, I'm sorry, it's not loading. The work order, the table is whatever we are written. I think maybe we are not in the global scope. Yes, sorry, we are in the global scope. So we need to change the scope for it. Work order. So that's the reason maybe it's not showing. So right now we are in the global scope. So but our table is in the work order scope. So that's a scope issue. So we have to change the our scope direction. The thing. So let's wait for one more few more seconds. See here. So now we have written the table here. Now whatever we want to write it, we can write it. So I'm just making unload code validation. So here the onload validation we have written, and next one is the what is the table name here. What was the table we are seeing here? That is a one table here, and table name. And next one UI type is a desktop, mobile, or service portal, or all we have. So desktop is nothing but which is can open in the browser, that is in the laptop or in the desktop. If it is a mobile, if you open service instance in the tablet or mobile, or if you open a service portal, that's a different one. So if you want to execute in those particular view thing only, we can write the same thing. That is the one. And now all, if you click on all, so you want to execute in the, it will execute all the time. So the best practice what we are following is mostly we can give all the client scripts will execute in the all UI types. But if depending upon the student requirement, if you want to execute in a particular thing, so you can write a UI type as a desktop or a it should be a mobile or service portal. Now the next most important is a type. What is type? Here the type is here. There you can see, right, we have discussed, right, where should be on load or on submit or on change or on cell edit. That means whatever the script we need to execute in the onload or on change, sorry, and once the form is loaded. So that means, so now we want to do the validation once the form is loaded, so that the requirement is we have to do it from the onload. That's okay. So here what we are going to do is, so we have a two few tables in those in the table onload, and next one is the active true. If you want to always execute this form, the script, this onload sorry, active is always true for the same thing for it. Now that's one. And inherited is nothing but if you want to execute this to the child tables also, this script, you can always use the inherits concept, which means if you have to apply this to the child extended tables, that we can use the same thing here. So here what I'm going to do is we have a few validations. Validation is nothing but here, whatever we are making them mandatory. So for this personalized, I'm just making so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to one, and also here next one inherit and global. Here you can, global is nothing but if you want to execute this one in a particular view, you can give the what is a view name, or if you want in a global, so we can write the same thing here. Now what I'm going to do is, so better we can go for the form. So we don't know why this net is slow. The description, what is the one we can write, this is a formality, those two we need one. And next step, whenever if you check that field name, so whenever if you check that onload, this function onload will come. If it is a on cell edit, it's not changed. Okay, since we already made a modification, that's okay. If it is onload, it will start with the function onload and it will execute one. And now what is our next step is, so for example, again you can see this record. I think this, the database is low. That's okay. Today here what we are writing here is, so this company is become a mandatory here. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to go to, so I'm just marking this company is not mandatory. So from the dictionary entry, we have made a mandatory. So, but I don't want to this one as a mandatory when in the same thing. So now what I am going to do is mandatory as a false, mandatory as a false, and I'm marking as a true. Oh my god, still not loading. Just wait. Mandatory I'm marking as a false. So what happened? Now this field is not mandatory. If I open this record, the company, the dictionary entry, so which is an optional field, I want to make this field mandatory from the form level. So here this is the one, and also one more thing. Whenever in the service now, whenever if you see some script, there are two type of objects. It's a client side object and server side. If you see g underscore form, it's an object which will be executed in the form level. That means which will be executed in the client level, which means whenever if you are writing any script, this will be executed in the form level, and this will be executed in the uh, so client side. So g underscore form, it's an object which will be used to check the form level or in the client level. Now what we have to do is g underscore form dot, we need to make a set read only, sorry, set mandatory. See, if you see G underscore form, there is a lot of functions will be there. Add decoration, what it contains, add error message, add info message, add info, add clear message. So these are all will, what are the methods we have? In those methods, whatever we want to, we can do the same thing. And just make set mandatory. And you can see the set mandatory, what it is showing is make the field required if true. That means if you given as a true, it will make a true, and makes the field optional if false. And best practice, use UA policy rather than this method whenever it possible, which means ServiceNow is recommending. So whenever the form is read only, sorry, whenever is mandatory in making, always try to use the UA policy which you already shown it, seen it. So better avoid the one. So that's the best practice. Still you want, just go to set mandatory. So if you go to the set mandatory, so it will show the, so it will go to syntax. Syntax is set mandatory, and what was the field name, and what was the value boolean, whether it should be true or false. So if you want to one, we can do it. I'm just going to company, right click. So you can check the field value is nothing but what was the backend value we are giving. Company, so which you are given. So we can give that as a company. That all in the single quotes. And next one is a boolean, whether it should be true or false. We'll give the same thing here. Now, and also we can write a, I'm just writing an alert. That means just for our understanding. Welcome to Onload and script. So I'm just writing, and I'm just saving this record. Now what happened? We just created a script we for the same thing here. So we have written, and if you want to validate it, just open this record. So right now it is not mandatory. So I'm just marking this one as this one. So just whatever we written the one, it has come, and this field is mandatory, and that means if I mark as a false, and when you're trying to save it, so it will throw the same error. The following mandatory field is not yet filled. The same thing here. So which means this and also I just want to make a this one make a few fields read only. For example, I just want to make a this priority. I just want to make a read only. So if you want to make read only, I can use the same concept. So g underscore form dot set read only. Set read only. I can use it, and so what is the field? So the set read only also, if you open this one, the same thing, the syntax. If you have to check the set read only, you can see. So here you can see makes the field is read only if true, and and it is editable. And if false, it's not a. It can be editable. If you give an a true, you cannot edit it since it is a read only. And if you it can be editable if you give the false. And also service noise recommends is always what you can say best practice is always use the UA policy for the same thing. If you want to remake a field, it is only unless that's a best practice recommended service now. If you want to, you can use it, or else you can use the client script to do the same thing for it. So this is the basic thing, and set read only is the one. So I'm sorry, this is not showing the syntax. Let me open the syntax. Set read only, this is the basic thing for the same thing here. Now if you open this one, I just want to make a this field state field, go to the read only just for our confirmation. If you go to the state field, what is the state field? So state. So if I open this one, state, and mark as a true. So this is the one. Now right now what we have done is we just made a that field is mandatory, sorry, read only for this one. If you want to do it, just try to reload the form and we'll see what it will contain. See, now this is not editable, and here whatever we have written here, we cannot write for the same thing here. So which means here, from here we can make a field make and read only for the same thing here. And also if you want to, this section should be hide. Next one, I don't want to this entire section, I just want to hide it. So if you want to hide it, g underscore form dot set section display. So set section display is show or hides a section works in a both tab and flat modes. This section is available with the fuzzy release. Just forget about the word. So what is the section name? So and I'm just making development. After that, I'm just marking as a false so that it will not show for the same thing here. So now what I'm going to reload this one. So I just given it as a false. Let's see what happens. Still it is loading. Still the form is loading. So that's fine. See, whatever we have written the section, it will be vanish. It was hidden. So that means whatever we are written for the same thing here is uh, so whatever here we are seeing is that is a will be not visible. Why? Because here what we have written a script stating that which will be the section displays false for the same thing here. That is a basic thing here. Whatever we are going for is. So this is the how we can execute. So and also if you want to add a few more fields, for example, few more choices. I want to add a choices. So g underscore sorry g underscore form dot add choice. To add option you can see add a choices if the index is not it, which means so if this that is a value is not showing in that one index is not defined, so we can use the same thing and whatever we are writing the change it will not stored in the dictionary. So I'm just adding here and what was the field. See for example, I'm sorry. Always if you open this one, what is the syntax? Field name, choice value, and a choice label. What is the field name you want to add it? I just want to add it in the impact. So the impact field name is impact, and after that the choice value I'm just making is a 100, and choice label what we are going to is very low. So this is the one, and impact and for urgency also I'm just making. So urgency also I'm just adding a same thing. So if I am going to reload, so it's loading and we have added the choices when the form is loaded, and let's see how it will execute for the same thing. See this is added and this field is read only and this field one, and in the impact see whatever we have added the choices it was added and what are the choices we have added. But here there is a one more drawback is the drawback is nothing but what it will show is it will not stored in the database, it will be dictionary, it will stored in the temporary and the form. So always the best practice for this type of scenarios always use for a in the dictionary entry. This is the one. So like this there is a lot of things we have to do it, we can think one. So the best practice always don't hide a section, So if we comment it, then the section will be visible, and I'm just going to save this one and let's see what it executes. So let's save it. So if I reload this one, let's see. So this is the one. Now we just insert this section is it. Now this is the thing how we have executed for the same thing here. So the next step, what we have to do is we just want to on submit. Whenever the form is submitted, we want to do some validations. At the time, what we can do is we can do the on submit client sheet. We can write the same thing. So 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 that means here the requirement is simple. Whenever the form is going to submit, so this assignment go what I can say. Okay, okay. If the state is in progress, the assignment group should be mandatory for the same thing. And that means if the state is changes to in progress and the user is trying to save the record, this should not be in the submit for the same thing. That is a basic requirement, and also this user both will be mandatory. So now I just want to write it. So on submit validation. So the same concept, the desktop type is C. On submit, the on submit function will come. If you select the on cell edit, it will be come. If you come to the on change, it will come. That's a different story. Now we require on submit, we can do it. Now, what was the logic for it? First, what we need to check, what was the value entered in the state field. So where state equal to g underscore form dot. First, we need to get it. That means what was the value? It's that then get value. That means which was added in the same thing here. So here the get value. I'm sorry, here we have made a read only, right? So we just don't need this one. Configure dictionary. So from here we don't know the what is the value in progress in the backend. So we will fetch it. Sorry, g underscore form dot. What we can say this state. So for example, I'm sorry, you can check this scenario again. G underscore form dot get value. Get value will fetch it, and the field name is state, and we can do for the same thing here. Now, what is the choice we have given here? In progress. So, what was the in progress we have given for the same thing here? So, this is the one we can give it. So, first it will check if state equal to in progress. Then it will check it, and it should show make a mandatory. Then g underscore form dot set mandatory of. So what is that field? So there is a two fields, which is the assignment group, and if you want to any other field mandatory, we can make a mandatory for the same thing. So this is the assignment group. So what was the backend name for this one? Assignment group should become mandatory as it. That means here what we have done it is uh, the g underscore form dots by using set mandatory. The assignment group we make a mandatory. So here what we have to do it is set mandatory is used to for the make a field mandatory. Then it will show for the one, and try to save it. Set mandatory is true, and let's try to save this one. Let's see what happens. Try to reload the form. So let's see what it happens. I'm just reloading this one. So I'm just going to save this one, and I'm just going to submit this one. So what happens? See, this field is become mandatory, and it's allowing to save the form. So if you want to the form is submitting. So if you want to stop the form submitting, we have to use the return false. Return false is a method. It's used to stop the form submission in the by using in the client level. So this is the one of the interview question. The interview may ask how we can submit the form submission, how we can stop the form submission in the service now. Then we have to answer it. It should be from the method called return false. From that we can delete the same thing here. So this is the basic C thing, how we can execute the same. Now let's see. So if I'm going to in progress and saving, the form is not submitting. You can see it earlier before what it is showing. And you want to write an alert stating that I'm just making alert assignment SGN assignment group is not filled. Please fill it. And I'm just going to save this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write to save it. Now let's we have saved it. So we just going to unload. And still that script is not affected. So let's wait for a few more seconds. So now I'm just waiting this one. And try to filter some user. See, assignment group is not filled. Please fill it. So it is not allowing us to save the record for the same thing here. So this is the how the on submit script will work for the same thing. So till now we had a discussion and any questions till now what we discussed on change and on submit client scripts. So only the thing is we should understand how or where it has to execute it. So whenever if you open a G underscore form, it will show a lot of methods. From that you can check all the options. You want to add error message displays. If you open this one, for example, so like the whatever, if you open add option, it will have shown. If you open clear message, it will show the some syntax for it. So that like this, you can check from the G underscore form everything what we have written, we can execute for the same concept for the same here. So this is the basic thing how we can do the client script for it. This is the concept for today. So kindly any questions let me know. So before we can discuss about the today's task. Okay, so I'm reading as you guys understand. Kindly note down the task for today. So do a validation in the client side. So whenever the form is loaded, it should display and which state we have and the company and at least three fields mandatory, four fields read only, and two fields the choice has to add it. Any field you can take it. This is the first task, and second task, whatever we are trying to do is second task whenever the form is submitted. If the state is some XYZ, so few fields are have mandatory and they has to fill it. This is the task for today. I hope you guys understand the task or any confusion. Okay. So if no other confusion, we can wind up the session. Tomorrow we can meet at same time, so 8 a.m. IST in the morning. Thank you so much, guys. I'm just we are closing for a session for today. Thank you all. Bye.